In the beginning here, Dunk is prepping the syringe. It's a 60 milliliter syringe, and there's an 18 gauge needle. And then I've got the duck positioned so that her, I guess you could say, right section of her bottom is hanging off my knee, because you want to draw on the lower right, and he's going to prep the area before he does the fluid draw by wiping it down with an alcohol swab. And right now he's giving a pep talk to the ducky. Let her know he's going to be very careful. And she's not real sure what's going on back there. She's a little bit nervous. You can see she's looking around. And I'm talking to the ducky. So we love our Miss Emerald. And he's got the syringe. He's telling her what's going on. And he's going to put it in the lower right. And you want to aim down and away from all the organs. It should be nice and squishy where you're heading into. It is a little bit tricky because the duckies tend to wiggle, but the lower right is where you're least likely to run into any issues with damaging something. Would you see when the needle went in, she wiggled a little bit, but then once he gets it settled in the right spot, she settles down. And when he's ready to draw, he starts pulling a little bit. These syringes are really tight, and it can be really difficult, so it's really helpful if you have two people to do this. And when you're drawing, you want to make sure that it's a clear fluid with a yellow tint. If you get anything else other than that, you're probably in the wrong spot. We did get one time we tried to do this. It was a little bit pink, and that was definitely not in the right spot. She didn't seem bothered by it. Everything was okay, but he has since learned to, well, right from the beginning, actually, I should say, he does just a little bit of a draw to make sure that it's clear yellow fluid. And Ducky's pretty patient, but she's a ducky, and this is weird. But you can see when he gets in the right spot how she relaxes, and her little head drapes over my arm. And she just relaxes into the fluid draw. She's such a patient girl. The first time we did it, she'd gotten really swollen, and there was quite the sigh of relief almost from Miss Ducky, and it looks like he ended up losing his spot a little bit there. Oh, sorry, Miss Emerald. And the point of using that big syringe is that when this works out and you get it right, you can just do one larger draw instead of having to go in multiple times. Some folks apparently do the draw with a much smaller syringe, but then Ducky ends up having to get poked and poked and poked again. And when he gets this syringe full, he's going to unscrew it from the needle and drain out the syringe. And we have a small basin sitting underneath that he's going to empty that out into. But you'll see that the needle keeps dripping after he's detached the syringe from it. There's enough pressure in her abdomen that the fluid keeps leaking slowly. So we do try to keep the basin right below. And right there, he just detached the syringe. And you see all that fluid was in her little tummy. Poor girl. Such a good ducky. And that fluid is just continuing to drip. Still contents under pressure a little bit. But this was the second draw that we did. The first one, we filled 2 syringes easily. And then we waited a couple days and did a second draw, so she had a time to recover. You don't want to do too much fluid all at one time because it can send the bird into shock, which is not good either, obviously. So we did the initial draw, and then we waited a couple days and then did another draw. And now he's going to try and get that needle attached back to the syringe, which is a little tricky. We initially did the draw with a different type of needle, which had the cover built into it, and that one was much easier to get on and off the syringe. So I want to see if we can track down those again when we have to do the next draw. Right now she's doing really good. She's still got a little fluid, but it doesn't seem to be causing her undue stress. She's still quacking loudly, as you'll hear at the end of this video. So she's got good lung support. She's not struggling to get air. When we initially decided to do the draw, she was getting somewhat lethargic and was having problems breathing. And at this point, she's getting to be where she's had enough of this. And, oh, my pretty girl. So he got a little bit more fluid, but he didn't end up filling the entire syringe this time around. And it became a little bit more difficult to do the draw. He was feeling some resistance, so he just stopped without filling up the syringe a second time. Yeah, she was done. She's getting very wiggly. And she just is going to head out and rejoin the flock for quiet evening.